This geometric pattern can be found on the Great Mosque of Kairouan in Tunisia, and this is what we'll be going to make. We're going to continue with the diagrams we originally made from before. For the Great Mosque of Kairouan though, we do not need this diagram, so I'm going to delete that. Now remember that there are actually hidden lines here. So if we display them, we have all of this. So I show that because we can actually make this bigger or smaller by adjusting this right there. So bigger, smaller, and so on. Now let's keep it the same, but I want to show you that in case you want to adjust the size of your shape. So let's go back to the original, and there we have it. Now to continue, it's going to get a little bit more complicated with a lot of construction lines. So I suggest that you make all of this one color, and you can choose any color that you like, but I'm going to stick with light gray, and we'll continue by making the lines that we need. So let's pick this here, and we're going to connect. We're going to make 8 lines to begin with, from here to here, and we're going to follow that pattern everywhere. And we'll just continue. And there we have it. Now, we won't need a lot of the construction lines outside here, but you can see if you play around with this, you get some interesting designs. Here we have an 8-pointed star, but once again, we're not going to need that. I didn't have to draw it outside, however, because I'm doing this on the computer, on GSP in specific, I'm not quite aware of making this go this far by going through this point just yet. So I can trim that later and play around with it, but for now I'm just going to make everything. The next step is to actually make a line segment, and we're going to make 8 of them for another star inside. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and now we're going to connect these. I could have used the polygon tool here as well, but this is just fine. And there we have it. So now we have to make a few sets of parallel lines. So let's select the line tool, and we have to connect from here to here, and from here to here, and a couple more going this way. And that's that. So now we have to make even more parallel lines, but this next set will go horizontally and vertically. So let's select the tool again, and we're going to go from here down, and from here down, and from here across, and here across. So at this stage we actually have all the construction lines, but as you can see, it's quite complicated. There's a lot of lines and it's hard to see how this final image will look, but this is when we will have to remove some of the points, which we will do first, and then we will go over with a different color the final lines that we need to construct our image. So at this stage I'm going to remove the points by selecting them and just hiding them. I just took a few seconds to select all those, so now I will just hit display and hide intersections, and there they go. So the next stage is to just draw over this with what we exactly need. So I'm going to select the line segment tool, and we're going to begin with this intersection, and this goes down to here, and we actually need this to be a different color, so let's change it to say black, and we'll just continue with what we need. So as you can see, that's the first part, and let's just continue here. As you can see, this will take quite a long time, but this pattern repeats all the way around, so I'm just going to not show that and just continue after that step is completed. So here we are, And let's continue by selecting this. And we're going to continue from here to here, and this downwards, and this just repeats several times and will be completed. So this goes up to this middle star, and up, and so on. So I'll stop recording for now and come back with how that looks when it's all finished. So now you can see it's almost done. It's starting to take form and it already looks really nice, but we just have to get rid of all the gray construction lines and points and we'll be done. So let's remove them. So here it is now, and it looks really nice. Now just imagine that with some bright colors in there, maybe some red, blue, green, and so on, and you can make yourself a really nice design. So now I'll just copy and paste this a few times so we can see how that looks. Here we have 8 of them joined, and it really is quite beautiful, as you can see. This is actually considered a somewhat easy design, believe it or not, as there's much more complicated ones. And feel free to look at the Ben Yusuf Madrasa, which will be the other design that we go through. But what's really incredible though is that we did this using computer technology, and at the time they obviously did not have this. So they did this with a pencil or some writing utensil, a ruler and a compass, which is really quite incredible. And at the minimum, I hope we can appreciate all the work that went into this, because as in the Islamic world, there's the seen and the unseen world. And don't forget the unseen that went into this. So if I show that by showing all the hidden, this is what went into the construction, not what we saw. And if I hide that, there you can see how complicated and intricate these designs really were. So I hope you enjoy this and appreciate all the work that goes into Islamic geometric patterns.